Felix Fairshake, and I will be the moderator of tonight's proceedings. About 3 weeks ago, 3 weeks from now, a major presidential election will be upon us. And Grover Cleveland, a Democrat, Benjamin Harrison, a Republican, and James Weaver, a populist, will vie for the presidency and our support of their policies. As you may know, the Populist Party, led by farmers and others around the country, was recently told by their speaker, Mary Lease, that farmers should raise less corn and more hell. In other remarks, Mrs. Lease let it be surmised that she thought that the Republicans and Democrats had already raised enough hell. Tonight, for your edification and your enjoyment, two distinguished gentlemen will debate one of the key issues of the Populist Party. The resolution is as follows. Be it resolved that the United States of America should adopt a graduated income tax rather than tax everyone the same. Professor Wadley Whistleblower of the ISU Political Science Department will debate the affirmative side of the question, and Professor Purvis Polynomial of the ISU Mathematics Department will debate the negative. At this time, I'm going to call on Professor Wadley Whistleblower to present the affirmative side.
Thank you, Judge Fairshake. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My goal this evening is to present you with compelling reasons why the income tax, which is rapidly gaining favor throughout our country, should be a graduated tax. We learn some of the most important lessons of our life on the laps of our mothers. And that's where I learned that right matters. I bet you learned that too. And it is a natural conclusion that it is morally right that those who can afford to pay taxes, to pay more taxes, ought to assume that responsibility. A graduated income tax would serve that purpose, and it's simply the right thing to do. Also, I'm sure that Purvis knows that the great majority of our country's outstanding economists, including Irving Fisher, have run the numbers and have determined that a graduated tax would provide more government revenue than a one-size-fits-all tax. This extra income would redistribute capital from the upper class to the struggling and unfortunate people who have not had much in the way of income to enjoy more of the services and benefits of our country. And in fact, it would allow all of us to enjoy more programs and services that will benefit us all. We could have better schools, we could have roads that are not always muddy, have rocks on them so we could get our horse-drawn carriages along those roads. We would be enjoying the benefits of a civilized society, and this would make us all much happier campers. Aren't we all in favor of being happier campers?
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, and now we'll hear from Professor Polynomial on the negative side of this question.
Thank you, Judge Fairshake. And good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be here. You know, Wadley here has a way with words. No doubt about it. But I couldn't disagree with him more. You know, my mother taught me that right matters too. And so I know, and I expect you do too, that a graduated income tax that goes against our Constitution can't be right. Our Declaration of Independence states that all men are created equal and should have equal rights. But when one man is forced to pay more income tax than another man for the same societal services, that's not equal and is indeed unconstitutional. Now, Wadley claims that the graduated income tax will bring in more revenue to our country than a flat tax. And would that I could, you know, maybe push a button and immediately have all the data I need to refute that claim? But alas, that, like that ephemeral extra revenue, is a pipe dream for the future. But one thing you can be sure of is that under Wadley's plan, the campers are not going to be happy. The upper income people are not going to be happy because they're the ones that have to cough up the money for that extra revenue. And the other people aren't going to be happy because they're going to get hurt by the less money that the upper income people have for investment and innovation and even for philanthropy. Friends, there are serious problems with a graduated income tax. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. And now I'm going to give each of you an opportunity for a rebuttal statement, not in excess of 1 hour. And end with a one-sentence closing statement. And we'll proceed first with the affirmative.
First, I hate to repeat your words, but I couldn't disagree with you more. Where I come from, we all went to church on Sunday. And we heard from the old pastor that you give according to what you can. You tithe. And if someone gained a lot from society, that person got a lot of satisfaction from giving back proportionately to that society. Surely our Declaration of Penance allows for that. Now, I admit that our Constitution presently does not allow for a graduated income tax. But less than 30 years ago, our Constitution didn't allow for slaves to be free. So what did we do? We changed the Constitution. We amended it. Let us now amend the Constitution for a fairer system of taxation. And it will take more than a few extra dollars of taxes to stop those who love to develop new inventions and innovations in science and industry from continuing to do that. In fact, if money provides incentive for inventions, that's exactly what our copyright laws and our patent laws provide for. So I say let's get on with providing for a graduated income tax, thereby making our taxing system a fairer system while generating more and sufficient income for the government to provide important services and for a growing and healthy economy. Thank you.
Wadley, On the farm where I grew up, we knew that if a fox was in our chicken house, fixing to cost us a lot of money, we had to find a way around it. To find a way around this complicated graduated income tax, the upper income people in our country and their lawyers are going to figure out ways to avoid paying taxes. And the ensuing litigation is going to cost our country a lot of money, eating up all that extra revenue. Now, as for amending the Constitution, on the surface, a good idea, sounds like. But look, since the Bill of Rights, our Constitution has only been amended 5 times. And every one of those amendments was much more significant than the amendment that Wadley proposes. A puny amendment to legitimize a punitive graduated tax? Let's not meddle unnecessarily with our Constitution. Ladies and gentlemen, with all the complications that Wadley is suggesting for our society, it seems to me that he's going to have to come up with a new song. Maybe something like, "Where have all the happy campers gone?" So in conclusion, a graduated income tax that taxes people unequally, reduces the capital that's available for innovation, and encourages tax evasion and fraud is a bad idea and should be rejected. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are not going to have a poll to determine who won this debate. However, in fact, the debate has never been fully settled. The 16th Amendment to the Constitution of the United States was ratified on February 3rd, 1913. It authorizes Congress to lay and collect taxes on income from whatever source derived without apportionment among the states and without regard to any census or enumeration. This has been held to authorize a graduated income tax. On the other hand, Section 3 of Article 9 of the Constitution of the State of Illinois, adopted in 1970, authorizes an income tax at a non-graduated rate, and the tax levied on corporate income may not exceed the individual income tax by more than a ratio of 8 to 5. So this debate has never been finally determined. And it's up to you to see how this issue works out. I do want to thank both of our debaters this evening, and I would also like to thank Ferris for having written this debate. So thank you very much.